Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're doing great. So, first off, yes, the developers focused this update on polishing the experience. Think smoother information access, several targeted balance passes, and a few mechanical tweaks that change how you approach naval and diplomatic play, among other things. One of the first things you'll notice when you fire the game up is the new nested tooltips popping up in production menus and in the tech and civics trees, which is such an obvious quality of life change that you wonder why it wasn't there from the start. Instead of opening a dozen tiny windows or hunting through tooltips, you can now expand and see deeper lines of detail right where you're making decisions, which speeds things up and lowers the friction when you're planning a build or plotting a research path. This is the sort of small design decision that changes the way the UI feels in the long run, especially in mid and late game when every little decision piles up. On the Civ and leader front, there are several balance passes that were clearly data-driven. Some leaders got bigger overhauls, others got subtle nudges. France got a rework aimed at making its identity more coherent, while civs like Die Viet saw buffs meant to bring them in line with other competitive choices, and the Mughals were rebalanced to address some power spikes. The developers said they wanted to smooth problem areas without turning the entire roster into cookie-cutter choices. So these adjustments try to preserve uniqueness while fixing glaring imbalances. If you've had matches where one civ felt unstoppable or completely non-competitive, this update is directly aimed at improving that feeling. There's a meaningful rework to coastal raids too, and I think C players will be particularly interested in what this means for naval play. Coastal raids now function more like naval pillaging. That shift changes risk-reward for coastal operations and gives a clearer mechanical hook for naval harassment and economy disruptions. Instead of being an awkwardly placed mechanic with unclear incentives, this rework aligns it with how naval players expect to operate. Hit supply lines, hurt coastal infrastructure, and make sea control actually feel strategic rather than marginal. That tweak also affects how you plan escorts and naval defenses, because the economic punch from a successful coastal raid is more tangible now. Another neat addition is the appeal lens, which overlays tile appeal at a glance. For players who obsess over city happiness, housing, and amenity planning, this is immediately useful. You can scan a prospective city site and instantly see how attractive tiles are for neighborhoods, wonders, or park placement instead of doing the manual math or guesswork. It's one of those features that quietly reduces friction. Less micro-stress about whether a tile will give you a bonus, and more time to actually strategize on placement and expansion. That kind of interface improvement adds up across dozens of saves and hundreds of hours. Now, for something that stirred a lot of chatter in the community, a free leader is being added as part of this release, Gilgamesh. The way his kit is built plays into both war and cooperative strategy. He gains war support when he has exactly one ally, and he gains influence when defeating units, among other interactions with endeavors and allies that make him feel like a leader who thrives on focused partnerships and aggressive opportunity taking. Giving him to players for free with the update was a clear goodwill move from the studio, and the leader's design invites a different kind of play, where picking who to ally with and when to go to war becomes a centerpiece of your plan. The way the abilities mesh with endeavors and allies also nudges players into building around synergies that reward both combat and diplomatic plays. AI and diplomacy also get attention in this patch. The AI's diplomacy bias has been adjusted to better match each leader's personality. That means leaders should behave in ways that feel truer to their agendas and history, instead of repeating the same odd choices across different games. In practice, this should reduce some of the jarring diplomatic moves you might have seen, like suddenly being labeled an arch nemesis for no discernible reason, or seeing a leader act out of character because of a generic numerical weighting. The goal is more predictable, intelligible interactions, so you can plan alliances and betrayals with more confidence. Under the hood, there are also a number of smaller but important changes. Adjustments to the leader attribute tree and how attributes are distributed, various AI quality of life improvements, and a set of bug fixes that the notes say are aimed at stability and to reduce some of the annoying one-off crashes and edge case behaviors. The team's messaging suggests they're trying to strike a balance between continuing to build big new systems